ahead.
Okay, we have received some proposals from, well, sent out an RFP to, I think, 3 or 4 vendors to get some costs back on garage automation. As it turned out, it really came down to one vendor because we have a requirement to be able to permit homeowners to pay for guest parking. That required a software package that would able to handle over 1,100 individual accounts, and there was only one vendor that had such software. Basically what the proposal covers is the 16th and 8th floor entrances will be equipped with high-speed doors, ticket dispensing machines, and/or as vehicles come in, depending if they, the option of having their existing E-ZPass account used to trigger the door to be opened, or to purchase a specific window sticker that will also act as a automated door opener. The 11th floor will be reconfigured to be a 2-way exit. One side of the exit will be for people with these monthly order stickers and/or E-ZPass, which will automate their process going out, and one side will be converted to a pay or settle up lane. The approximate cost to lease the system over 4 years is approximately $410,000. The maintenance cost is roughly $19,000 a year. We're anticipating that the savings, since we would no longer have to man the 16th and 8th floors, that would save us roughly $192,000 a year. We feel there will be some operational saves from a functional nature in the accounting department of about $15,000 a year. Based on a PM Solutions study that was done about 3 years ago, they thought the garage automation would increase parking revenues by about $48,000 a year.
It did not. It wasn't even in the report. Did you read it?
So what we're projecting is, instead of the 48, which we thought might have been over zealous on their part, we're thinking that more like 24,000 would be a more realistic revenue number. So we anticipate that this would be a capital lease with a cost of around $105,000 a year, $19,000 maintenance costs. We would save roughly $231,000 a year, so we would have a net reduction of around $110,000 a year. Also, I might add, on the 8th floor, a new entrance, individual key fob door will be put in, so that homeowners who are looking for an exit, since they won't be able to walk out of the garage entrance on the 8th floor, they will have a door which will be key fob, so if they go out, walk their dogs, make sure you have your key fob, and you'll be able to come back in that entrance.
Joe,
Yes.
when you mentioned that people could get in with the E-ZPass, I just want to make sure, and I think the distinction wasn't clear, is that they would not get billed to their EasyPass account. They're just using the EasyPass tag for identification purposes, and instead of having another tag or another fob or something that reads, the existing EasyPass will just be used for identification purposes.
Correct. You won't be paying twice. For the Galaxy is an equal opportunity collector, and we're not giving anything to
And the
EasyPass.
toll prices don't go up as the Lincoln Tunnel.
Well, I wouldn't know about prices going up.
Well,
I'd like to make a motion to approve Amana as the vendor pending legal negotiations and price corrections to approve for garage automation.
I second it.
Can I counter motion, or no, this has to vote and
we'll
then
have
I
to
can
discuss
counter?
it.
I'm
No,
sorry,
Can I
didn't
submit
hear
a motion on the side as a counter, or before this goes to vote?
Do you mean a substitute motion?
Yes.
You can make a substitute motion, Chris. It's
I would
like
like
any
to-
other motion.
I would like to make a substitute motion to table this.
No,
Is
that's
our-
not a substitute. Make a motion to table.
I would like to make a motion to table. It is our fiduciary responsibility to obtain more than one bid on this project
Excuse me.
before we consider
The
this.
motion to table is not discussable. The
Okay.
motion to postpone would be discussable. I second.
I want to discuss it.
We can
There's no
speak about
discussion
it?
on motion.
No, we
Yes,
can't
if he
talk.
makes a motion to postpone, he can.
Ah,
The motion is on the table.
So we cannot,
I want,
Talk
Excuse me,
about it.
excuse me. The motion on the table is, on the table is to table. Correct?
Yes,
No.
but the gentleman was speaking on the
Right, so
motion.
ergo he
He
can't,
said
it's
it
not
was not
discussable.
so we
discussable.
take a vote.
So we can talk.
That,
In that case, all
Point
those
of
in favor?
information, we should not discuss this issue. We should not inquire why is this motion is being made. We should not give a background information because the motion may not be accurate.
Right?
then vote the motion down. This
Ah,
does
okay.
not
Okay.
preclude
All right, okay.
making a motion to postpone after
Okay.
this. It's another different kind of motion. That is discussable. And you could make a motion to postpone until the next meeting, for example.
I can't believe it.
Okay. Good.
Right.
Okay,
So now we vote on the motion to
No.
table.
we vote on the motion to
Excuse
table.
Just a point of information.
Please.
I am correct that a motion to table means this comes up at the next meeting as unfinished business.
That's right. It's automatically, it should be on the agenda, and it should automatically come up at the next meeting. Now,
Okay.
let me say one more thing. Typically, the president draws up the agenda. So the meaning of the motion to table is that it's incumbent on the president to add that to the next meeting, the next meeting's agenda. And the reason that you have one motion which is discussable, that's postponed, and the other motion which is not, is just to save time and discussion. You can do it either way.
Okay. In that case, we're going to vote on the motion to table. All those in favor of table, garage automation,
To table the
to table the topic
The topic.
until the next
I'd like to
meeting.
know why. I'd like to say why. So I'd rather go
Well,
through
no,
the process.
you're tabling
What?
the motion.
Yeah, no. So I won't table. I wanted to keep the motion that way. I want to talk about it and then table.
Okay, so, but, again, let's just do this again. All
What?
those in favor of tabling the motion?
Four.
Opposed?
Mhm.
Motion's still on the table.
Fine.
Five, correct.
So let's talk about it.
Let me bring, may I?
Please, go ahead.
This garage automation been discussed for 4 years. We originally solicited bids from 4 different companies. We had a presentation by Amana last time. The last meeting, board voted to refresh the bids, and GMD, he called in 4 companies, 4 companies. One company bid, second company dropped out because they could not meet this requirement. There was one company refused to bid, and there was a company which you can fill us in here. You can tell us what you've done to obtain bids and what.
Yeah, I mean, we went out to Federated, in their software. They came in, we heard their presentation. They looked at our garage, and they felt that they wanted to undertake the project, but based on our requirements, while Federated Software supposedly could meet our requirements of the ability to bill back unit owners for their guests, it was determined that their system, the one place where they have it at installation, is having a lot of problems, and therefore could not, the vendor that we brought in said he was not willing to put it into our operation until all the kinks were worked out, and he felt that it was going to be, from Federated's perspective, was going to be years from now. So he declined to proceed to go any further. We brought in an outside garage parking system, who basically told us that the proposal that we received from Amano was excellent, and that he wouldn't make any changes to it, and that they would be willing to manage our parking garage operation, but the cost, but if we paid them a management fee of $18,000 a year, plus their cost to run the operation, which was more than we're paying planned for the whole operation. So that made no economic sense at all. Yes, Richard?
There was another company that came in.
I'll wait till you.
I make a motion to postpone discussion of garage automation till our May meeting.
Can I say something?
Anybody second that motion?
I second that.
Any discussion?
Well, now we can talk.
Yeah. Anybody else want to say something?
No, and I think that we all were at the meeting on Monday when we met with the gentleman from Amano. We have all the presentation. We've heard all the information that he said. And while I do agree with the principle, and I like, since Monday, since that meeting, I've had more questions than actually answers. That meeting created for me more questions than answers. And while the numbers, and here I'm not talking about numbers and savings and operational. I'm just talking about how it can be done because of the nature of the hybrid, the one garage that we have, which not only serves residents but also a mall part that we do have to accommodate within the same garage, and that's something that yet I haven't had the chance to complete. I don't think we've come to a complete. I mean, I might be wrong, but I don't think. After the meeting that we had on Monday, that has been completely, yes, well, we understand there's one vendor, and the reason why there's only one vendor that has sent us the proposal, the implementation of it is still, at least for me, I'd like to have additional information as needed because it's not quite clear how it can be implemented. I'm not talking about savings and all these kind of things. That's a given. That speaks for itself, and it's a go. It's just the implementation is. That's my personal opinion. So that's why I'd like to table it. No, next.
Nancy?
That's okay. Let Carl talk.
Carl. I believe certain members of the board have worked very hard on this proposal and the concept, and it may be a very worthwhile project. I have some concerns, even from Joe's report, where Joe says the PM solution report referred to garage automation. What the PM solution report said, in their analysis, said that there were a large number of parking tickets that weren't accounted for, and that the current accounting system should provide each garage attendant with individual accounts and passwords. It didn't address garage automation, so I'm unsure where those numbers come from Joe. Last Monday was the first time when I and other board members had an opportunity to sit with management and have any in-depth discussion of garage automation. Many of my questions were answered. However, the questions of safety and security, the overall cost, and the details remain unclear to me. There appears to be no input that I've heard from the Garage Committee, the Facilities Committee, or the Financial Committee. There's been no discussion with residents as to their wants and needs. It is only today that we receive the new bid from Alamo. There's just not enough time to make a reasonable decision on the price proposal. I agree with Stava's statement at the annual general meeting that the GTC has limited abilities to supermove more than one major project at a time. We still do not have the final design of the elevators. We are due to start this major project in August. I agree with Slava that we may not be able to handle more than one project at a time. I am concerned about Administrative Resolution number 32 not being followed, which says for all standalone contracts for more than $25,000 cannot be voted on if the Board of Directors have not first received no less than 3 sealed bids written from the contractors. I've been told there is, in answer to questions, that there is no written request for proposal for this contract was sent out. The specifications to be appear to make Alamo the only possible bidder on this project. This has been justified by claiming that all boards have agreed that it is important to retain our ability for residents to have the opportunity to pay for guests using the system provided by the vendor. It appears to me that this limited the bidding to Alamo because it has the only system that will allow more than 1,000 unique users.
Points of information here.
He's
misquoting the name.
Richard, please.
It's Amano.
Richard.
It's Amano.
Amano. But just let him finish.
But it's constantly giving the wrong name.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. I appreciate your
Okay.
correction. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
That's why I'd like to postpone this, I think, very worthwhile project till we can finally analyze
I thought you
it.
discovered another company.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fini, please.
Okay. Like you all heard, it was invited 4 companies. Even for me, it's plain English. But sometimes in different projects, you find only one company. And he said in this meeting that we all were there, you weren't there, but you all were, Amano has 80% of the market in United States of America. I went to New York
Point
to
of
be.
interest. They share that with another company, 80%.
Yes, but they both companies that 80%. If you read, they share 80%.
With Federated.
With Federate, right? So that's true. And Federate, they withdraw, right? They didn't want to bid. And if nobody wants to bid, you take previously there, it was in the Galaxy other projects that they couldn't find only one person to bid, so they took this person. Okay? It happens in many, many industries that for one reason or another, only one person wants to bid. And if you think, if you make due diligence, and you think so, that this is a good company, then you don't. If you want to learn, I didn't finish, then you can talk. Then what I am saying, that if you want more details, that's okay. This very simple garage automation. You have a thing that goes down and comes up, nothing there to do. It's really, I mean, you all went to parkings in the city, right? You go take a card, you pay with your credit card if you want. It is one of the simplest projects of all. I don't know if you want, and you can hold it as long as you want it. It won't come, you cannot produce more companies than they really are. Those 2. And once want to manage our garage, we want to get the money. Why should they get the money?
Carl, I appreciate you being so prepared for meetings and promotions. Some information which you released are great, but some is not truly factual. I'm not suggesting to vote and to implement the system. I just want to clarify certain things. Garage automation has been discussed for 4 years, and we did bid out. We invited 2 major companies, and we invited 2 lesser major companies. Unfortunately, first time around, the company which withdrew from the bidding process was awarded a contract. Not awarded, but we agreed to go and to implement. Unfortunately, we didn't have money and nobody would ever issue us any credit. Let me give you just a brief overview of this. I don't know what Joe was reading, but basically his estimates of the savings over 10 years and the life expectancy of this particular system is 15. We'll just very conservative take, and we will not take in consideration any savings or any revenue increases. We just simply forget about PM solution. You're absolutely right. They spoke about tickets, but if you take those tickets and multiply by number of dollars, you get exactly to $48,000. So he misquoted. They spoke of tickets which we cannot collect. And until now, we're still losing tickets because our old system cannot allow us to take control. Garage automation over 10 years will generate savings of $1.9 million, less $240,000 in increased revenue. So it's $1.7 million over the next 10 years. It's a significant amount of money. We can wait and deliberate. We discussed this issue many times over. If you have questions, definitely you have to. I personally spent time with Matthew here, made appointment, brought documents, showed him documents from different times. We compared bids from the company which withdrew to Amana company. And at that time, he didn't raise any issues because he was in agreement that that was very interesting because we looked at the federated bid comparing to Amana. And we were able to determine that federated bid 3 years ago was slightly lower than Amana bid now. I believe it was $370,000 versus $390,000. What we have here as follows. Federated bid did not include super high-speed doors. This did. Federated bid did not include ability for homeowners with E-ZPass not to do anything but reprogram receiving stations to read E-ZPasses. It doesn't affect us on highways. It's just simply a convenience feature. You don't have to buy a new tech. This system includes cameras. This system includes door on the 8th floor, so 8th floor will be protected from traffic. This system includes tons of interesting things which old system did not. So if you start comparing apples to apples, this is as good a price as before. It's absolutely correct. AR32 speaks of 3 bidders, but Carl, AR32 is not a stupid instrument. Okay, AR32 allows us to pick one bidder if no other bidders available. That's entirely up to us. And I'm not suggesting for us to vote or not to vote. I'm just suggesting to you that as far as garage, this system does not change anything. This system actually gives us opportunity to operate this garage the way it was designed in 1970s. In 1970s, our garage was designed as one-way operation. You enter on 8th floor, you go down, and you go to 10th floor, you exit. May I have another 4 minutes?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
At a time.
I think the board needs to vote.
The board has to vote.
Okay.
All those in favor of Slava continuing talking for an additional 2 minutes?
Yeah, why not?
And after that,
Opposed?
you can request another 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Motion carries.
2 minutes.
Would be shocked if you do not allow because you want to be educated. So you enter on 6th floor and you go down. Original design of the system did not allow for two-way traffic. What we have right now at night, we do have two-way traffic, which creates a lot of problems. As far as implementation, there is no implementation because we don't buy anything we don't have. Homeowners or visitors to the mall get a ticket. A sleepy attendant gives them something and he has no clue what he gave him, and when they leave, we keep losing 1,000 tickets per month. Right now, system will, the same thing, it will not be a sleepy attendant, it will be a machine which will allow to dispense a ticket, and then ticket will be accounted because you cannot. The system is almost bulletproof. It's almost impossible to cheat the system because system does not allow us to remove our tag and to bring another car in because the system is equipped with one thing, loops underneath, and system is smart enough to recognize that when you pull the ticket, your car must be on top of this loop. Otherwise, gate will not open. So I guess we have to have another meeting and discuss it, but just for the record, it's been discussed numerous times. Numerous times. $1.7 million in savings over 10 years is a significant amount of money. I'm very sorry that we did not have funds to do it before. We do not have to put anything down, a payment of $20,000 and the savings of labor, $6,000 per month is immediate.
Uh-huh.
So it's a revenue positive project.
Somebody else has to
Yeah.
speak? Evan?
May I?
Yes.
Thank you. We met with Amano. As Nicholas, I echo your concerns. There were questions that did not make me feel whole. I personally would like to see security cameras deployed throughout the entire garage and not just at the ins and outs for this particular exercise. I think it raises maybe an extra step of lack of security to our garage if we don't integrate the garage floors, cameras, and security as part of this exercise. And I think the board should, mainly the fact that we have a lot of new board members, should get a chance to walk through the garage, get a personal understanding of what we're talking about. And additionally, for the sake of transparency, I think we need to present this to homeowners before we go ahead and vote to something like this, and make it a more a better understanding for everybody out there of what this project entails. Thank
Any
you.
more discussion? One last thing.
I would like not to muddy the water and to speak of two issues separately. The issue of security in garage is one issue which is important. We don't have it. The issue of garage automation has nothing to do with security. Because unless you're going to be attacked on the lap of the security guard who is sitting in garage, that's as much of security you will provide. You, all directors, consistently complaining that there is no security. So do not mix apples and oranges. If you realize savings from garage automation, and if the board will choose to put cameras at every corner, then it would be a different issue. To attach one project to another is just to kill this project completely, because this is $1.7 million in revenues, in positive revenues of homeowners. Now, as far as working garage is very interesting. I understand that some directors may be new to this board, but I'm sure that every director, Nicholas, is not aware of the garage.
Nancy requested to speak. I said she
I'm sorry.
asked
Every
Nicholas
director
for
is
that
new
since he's
here, maybe
sharing.
16 seconds director, but everybody lived here for a while, so garage is quite new. Again, I'm not pushing the issue toward today, but the rationale right now and the reasoning attaching one, it reminds me of Washington, where you have to attach something to the bill for a bill not to pass. That's it. Thank you.
And, Evan,
Nancy, please go ahead. I'll speak after.
I guess I would prefer that we postpone this vote and discussion as was proposed earlier, because I'm not opposed to this concept, but then if I'm forced to vote today, I don't think I'm prepared to do that. So, you know, and I don't think that would be the right thing for the Galaxy either. So,
Richard? Richard?
I just want to make a point. I seem to remember the last board was offered the opportunity to walk the garage with Slava. Did anybody take you up on it?
No,
Oh.
no. That's
Okay.
interesting in open
When was
session
this?
only.
I didn't get the.
It's a matter of record. I
Maybe it
did.
was before you
Oh,
okay,
joined
because I
the
didn't get
board,
that
but
invite.
I don't know. I know there
Okay.
was an invitation.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And
I haven't read
any more
those
discussion?
invites.
Matthew?
Yes, Matthew, go ahead. I'll speak after.
I agree conceptually with garage automation. However, I think the plans are still in a conceptual phase. I think, again, as I said before, the bidding process at this point, I don't believe was proper. We do need, according to the AR that Carl had mentioned, that section, we do need more bids. If our proposal is not taking into account other vendors because we're making it too specific, we need to broaden it to some degree to actually get those other bids.
Point of information.
And lastly, the representative from Amano said there were 8 vendors that are competitive in that market. It's not just
Not
2. That's
true.
false.
Not
Point of
true.
information.
False what
Did you read this, AR?
False
Did you
what
read this?
They're
Please,
small.
Fini.
Call to
Fini.
order, please.
Fini.
Fini.
Did you read this, AR?
Doesn't matter.
Are you taking words
Objection.
for the face value?
This is not a point of information.
This point of information, if he read this, yeah.
No, it is not. Point of, Eugene.
I did read it, yes.
Okay.
Eugene?
It's not a point of information.
Thank you.
All right.
May I?
Evan,
Yes, thank you.
and then
Why didn't you
Richard.
say anything?
Evan and then
Uh,
Richard.
Mike, thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to say there was another concern raised with the Amano presentation. The only reason that they are the only company who can actually make this happen is because of the 1,000 account situation relating to chargeback, correct?
Correct.
So that was also something that we, the board, need to discuss and also present to homeowners to see what the understanding or general feel of everybody is here, because I don't think that it makes it open to be a competitive bid when you can, when there's this stipulation of limitation, which is and was, as we discussed at some point, there are alternative options to that direct Yardi integration. But again, to finish this off, I'd like to please call the question.
No. I had my hand up and he said I was
You can't
next.
speak first and then call.
Richard?
Yes. Okay, Ron just said stipulation, one stipulation, so it's not a competitive bid. That's what, when proposals are given out, or when you're seeking bids, you have certain stipulations. Previous boards all wanted to keep that amenity to have homeowners, and I believe homeowners would want that ability to charge guest parking back to the apartment. And I believe it's a very, it's a very important thing to keep.
Slava? Then
The
Evan?
question was raised to Amana. How much does this option cost? It was very insignificant. I believe they mentioned $15,000. So if you get rid of this option, the cost of software and the cost of hardware would be the same. Amana, advantages of Amana at this particular time, because this is the first time where they're bidding, and forgive me that I didn't bring this up, they're bidding turnkey operation. They're bidding complete project. We no longer would like to supervise projects. We would like to hire known and reputable company where we see that the pricing is aligned with the pricing from another major competitor. In other words, you're speaking of two companies which hold 80% of the business. And the contract right now is not to lease and install. Contract is to give us key and to make sure that everything is working. But again, that's entirely up to the board. The board will choose
I
to
call the
postpone.
question.
I'll second.
So the question was to postpone, the question that, the motion on the table was to postpone.
First, you have to take a vote to call
Oh,
the
then
question.
we take a vote to call the question?
All those in favor?
All those in favor of calling the question?
Now you go to the motion.
And now the original motion was to postpone, was it to postpone or to table? To postpone
Till the next meeting.
the vote to the next meeting. So, who's all in favor?
Wait, the motion was to postpone the discussion.
The discussion to the next meeting, okay. All in favor of postponing the discussion? Opposed? Abstain?
What happened?
Opposed? I'll give you a
Well,
chance. Abstain?
So you didn't
Abstain.
vote? Oh, you
Abstain.
abstained? Did you
Abstention is-
abstain?
Yes.
So,
Okay.
Yes.
I'm
Motion
sorry.
carries.
the motion carries.
Now the motion is, the discussion is postponed until the next meeting.
Right, that,
Should be added to the agenda.
This is the dangerous when people come to meetings and play on computer and not listening. Right?
Thank you, Slava, for your commentary.
But it's true.
Thank you, Richard, as well.
Okay.